What's the reaction on campus to the fact that there are so many new questions raised about the accuracy of the story? Has it divided students?
Oh, hi, Jake. Thanks for having me. It certainly produced a wide range of reactions. We have some people that are relieved. It seems like maybe the problem's not as bad as they thought. There are also advocates that I talk to really frequently that tell me they're concerned this might hurt the momentum they had to try and solve the problem. Our line has been that this story, the action that we've taken, the things we've been talking about, it's never been about the details of one story. It's been about every story, and we're still committed to that.
You're in a fraternity yourself. How bad can Greek life get? I'm a former fraternity guy too, back when I was in college, and I never had anything like what I read about in that story.
Well, neither have I. And, I think the question ought to be, how good can fraternity life get? I firmly believe that if we take advantage of the organization, the structure, the hierarchy that we have in fraternities, we can make the parties that we have the safest places that anybody can go to be social. And so I think, if we take advantage of all of those things, we can make this actually fraternity world a big part of the solution to this problem. We had a chapter last night, and we had a long conversation about just that, about how we as a fraternity are going to try and make the things that we do safer. And I hope that and I know actually that a number of the other chapters around here are doing the same thing.
But Jalen, when you read the story to begin with, did you believe it? Did you think it was true?
Look, I don't have any reason not to. If you look at the stats, the vast majority of stories like this are true. Somebody doesn't have a whole lot of reason not to make it true. The first step, and I've done trainings, I've talked to a lot of advocates on this, the first step is to believe it. And I know that it's a real problem, and so again, the details of this story I think could change a lot between now and whenever we find out what happens. But I know that it is a problem for a lot of people, and it's for the rest of those people that I'm committed to changing it.
I thought that the lawyer's statement, the lawyer who represents Phi Kappa Psi, was very, very narrowly written. Obviously, that's what lawyers do. They issue very, very narrow denial so they don't say anything untrue. But I was surprised, and I wonder if you were, that there wasn't a comment like, there have not been any gang rapes at this fraternity since any of the members have been members of the fraternity. Were you surprised at how narrow this denial was?
Well, I was surprised not to see that, but, I think it probably realizes that there are a lot of things that happen in a house. You got a whole house in a brotherhood that's not watching every corner carefully. It's entirely possible, I think, that there's some bad things that happen when none of the brothers are paying attention. And that's one of the things I think we can start to fix. I've had a lot of conversations with Tommy Reed, who's our Interfraternity Council president, about what we can do on the policies we have when we host parties, about having brothers that are intentionally sober, marked clearly, and positioned in certain spots to make sure that even if it's not the brothers in that case that are doing something awful, they're keeping other things that might be awful from happening.
Jalen Ross, just a quick question. Do you think something happened to this girl?
Look, I believe that something horrible happened to Jackie. I don't know the what, I don't know the who, I don't know the when, but I believe it happened, and it's that kind of story that I'm committed to keep it from happening to anybody else in this school.